How you going, guys? Your favourite YouTuber, Bloody Betty. Just here for a video. Just thought I'll do a video. One of my mates stirred me up the other day, and he's like, "Do a video. Do one tonight." I think I just swallowed a bug. Sorry, I literally swallowed something. Anyway, I should scrap this video. Oh man, I don't know what I swallowed, I felt it. Anyway, distracted. I should have just dumped this video considering I just started. But hey, I don't want to waste some good camera footage. This video I'm doing right now is I want to show you. So I live in a van. I have a lot of stuff in here, and I kind of live, to some degree, I live survival. And I've made the point in other videos that I'm a big believer in, guys, when it comes to survival stuff, hear me out. I think people are very unrealistic with it. And one of the ways they're really unrealistic with it is, I think some of us will stash things away that we never use, and we think in a bad scenario we're going to use or be able to use it. And I find reality can often be quite disconnected from reality. Do you know what I mean? Where I find the best survival is the type of survival, it's already part of your life, to a degree or some aspect. It's been tested. It's natural to you. It's a skill. It's a reflex. It's a muscle memory. So, what I'm about to show you is just a little bag. I haven't finished the setup with this bag, so hear me out. I'm not trying to say, oh, it's the best and this is the best setup. I'm learning as well. I'm always a student. That's the attitude I have. So this is a bag in my van. So I've said in other videos where I've actually become lost, and one of the ways people become lost is when they're not expecting it. And that's kind of, when it comes to prepping and survival, you have to adjust your life to realistic, most likely going to happen scenarios, because there's too many scenarios that can happen. And yes, you can do a broad stroke, and you could go, well, I've got money and I'm just going to make sure everything's covered. And I don't think that's always healthy. You can really lose your head. And I feel a lot of that can be really governed by fear. And so I guess I have a bit of a different approach. I'm like, okay, so I live in a van. I love to travel. What's most likely going to happen to me? And it's not a fear-driven thing for me. It's incorporated in my lifestyle and my hobbies. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I can be very vague with explaining certain practical things. And by vague, I mean, I don't always explain things well in a practical way to someone that might not be familiar or seen what I'm working with. So, oh, sorry, the skull nut water now, I'm like burping up. But anyway, there's my little bag. So, undo this bag. I fixed one of these clips a while back and it's a bit tight because of the way I did a bad job fixing it. But anyway, so in this bag is a little top pocket. So first I'm going to show you what I have in the top pocket. So, because obviously I'm showing you all on a camera, it can be a bit more difficult. I have a lighter. Just kind of newish lighter for fire. So there's a lighter in there. So how about I'll bring everything out. I'll put it on the bed there, not where you can see it, but I'll put it on the bed, and then I'll explain why I have these things in there. So I got my lighter, just a Bic lighter. Good, notable. Compass. Can't say I only know the directions, north, east, southwest. So compass, my mate gave that to me, good mate. A nice Flint and steel, another fire making method. Flint and steel. And that's a good one. It works quite well. Now this, so again, remember guys, I'll repeat myself, but I'm just showing you what's in the bag at the moment. This is a sling I made. I have shown this sling in other videos. It is a sling to fire rocks sling. So I wrap that over itself. There we go. Yep. Polyester wax cord. Again, I'm not going to explain at the moment what that's. It's fairly light. There's a lot of string there. Polyester wax cord. This one doesn't really need to be here, but yeah, anyway. A spoon and fork. It's just a cheapie. It should separate. Look at spoon. Eating your tucker. It's got a crappy knife on it. And a bottle opener. Because you need to be drinking beer when you're lost in the woods. Yeah, so there's that. That probably doesn't need to be in there, it's just extra weight. This is a cool one. This is a Japanese whistle. I've got a nice Halex one, but anyway, this one will do the job. It's got a little lanyard I put on it. Now this is really loud. I don't know how the audio will come across on here, but ready? Oh man, shouldn't have done that. Oh, my ears. Anyway, that is all what was in that little pocket. So I'll show you the little pocket again, just so you know. That was in that little pocket that's attached to the bag. Now I'm going to show you what's in the rest of the bag. A green tarp. It's like a tarp to make like a hoochie, like a shelter. Again, I won't explain. I'm just showing you at this point. So green tarp. Nice, fairly compact. It's fairly big. 52 inches by 84 inches. Whatever that is. I don't really work by inches personally. But anyway. I just cleaned it up because it got rusted at one point, and it's a little saw. This is Opinel, really nice brand. I cleaned it up. It was pretty rusted, not real bad rust, but see the rust still there. But I oiled it up. It's actually good to go. A lot of that rust will clear off when I use it. But nice little saw, nice one. Fairly light, fairly teethy. I won't explain just yet what that's for, but that's in there, little saw. Pocket knife, Opinel knife inside. This is the first size from as small as you can go where it's a lock. It's got a little lock on it, which is handy. That's razor sharp. I just oiled it up. Can you see the oil glows on it? I've let the patina, the staining happen to the high carbon blade. I don't mind how that looks. But little Opinel knife in a sheath. This is kind of fun. I hope you're enjoying it. I have shown this in water purifying gone wrong, one of my old videos, but seemed to go all right. This 1969 Vietnam War. It's actually got someone's name all over it. What do you call it? Water bottle. I will show you later, but this has a metal, like a cooker in it, which is really good. Some of these don't have that, it's missing, but this has the metal cooker in it. But I'll show you that. I don't know what to call it, cooker, metal pan thing with the handle. Now, if you're wondering what that strap is, that's just it's off an air tool. It's just a nice strap that's really good and doesn't come undone. and I kind of thought I'll put it on there because it's a cool strap, and if I ever need to strap something in a survival situation, I've got that strap. That's why it's there. Plus, it looks kind of cool. I don't know why. It just does. Anyway, that is everything that's in that bag. And now I'm going to go through the process of explaining why I have what I have in my bag. And I guess I'll start with the water bottle, the canteen, or whatever you want to call it. So I've got a little bit of water in there. I've cleaned it all, so the water should be all right next time I drink it. Because this water bottle's a dark plastic and there's no light getting in, it's good for the water in there to last longer, if that makes sense. As soon as light gets to water, that's when you get algae and you get photosynthesis and stuff, and it suffocates the water and it can make you really sick. It can kill you very quickly. Now, why water? So, remember I said this bag is for a scenario where Barry finds himself in the bush just to make sure he grabs his bag. This isn't, I'm going into the bush, I've got time to prepare, I'll grab this bag, this is everything I need. No. Do you hear what I'm saying? So this is just, it's ready. I'm not going to miss the main things, and they're there in the bag. I got to, you know, I might have to run. The van might break down. I might have to walk for help. That's what this bag is. This is just basic minimum survival setup. It's got shelter, ability to make fire, ability to a degree to possibly hunt and kill things and catch things and eat things, and water, because after 3 days, and I think that's like the higher end. I think if it's hot, it could be less, but after 3 days, you don't have water, you know. So yeah, so I'll just show you this. I have shown it in that other video, but I'll show you guys again if you haven't seen it. So there's a water bottle with a bit of water in it, and I'll have to keep that fresh every now and then. But I can purify that by boiling it in there. Again, I can make fire. Fire can also be, obviously it's very dangerous. I'm talking in really bad scenarios. You could use fire to signal, so you can make a fireplace, you know, make some smoke, burn some leaves, get a lot of smoke going. Someone might see it and you know, come for help. Just be careful, guys. Even in a bad situation, you don't want to start a fire. I mean that in a bad situation, you know, so be careful. Know your seasons and all that. So that's got water in it. That's the drink bottle. I'll show you the metal. Wonder if that strap I put on it will get in the way. No, it's all right. The strap's all right. So, how cool is this? Again, I know some people have seen this. You grab that, pull it out. There's a little lock on the back. This little lock clips over and in there, and it locks it in. That little lock there, just across there. And that you can put on a fire. Oh, another thing that should be in there, but you can use your clothes for this. What you can do, say you find water, you put that over it like a nice cloth or a shirt or whatever, and you can filter out the solids out of, you know, say you find muddy water and you need a drink, you got no water, yeah? So you have a lighter there, you have a flint and steel, so you got at least 2 ways. I mean, there's more ways, but there's 2 ways right then and there you can possibly get a fire going, especially with a lighter, quite easily. So what you'll do is you'll get some of that water, because like, say you run out of this water that, say, I prepared, and I'll scoop some of this muddy water, this yucky water, and I'll filter it through the cloth or my shirt. You don't need to have a cloth in there. You can use a part of your clothing. You filter out all the solids. So you remove that. You got your water in here. You already got a little fire going. Going to keep you over. Say I'm hypothetically God willing, never happens. But say I'm lost in the desert, it's going to get cold at night. I've got a fire going, managed to get a few sticks going. And now I'm like, oh, there's a puddle here. I've dug and I'm like, oh, is the water safe? So I filtered it. Now I put it in there, and then I boil it on that fire, and that water's fairly safe to drink once it gets to a certain boil. You know, to be safe, I don't remember all the stats, but if it's boiling nice, you've got a good boil going on, and you filtered it with that, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. Most water, I believe, would be fine after that, which I tried to demonstrate in one of my videos. But anyway, so there's that. So we'll put that away. How cool's that? I think that's really cool. That can be used for food, everything. So how cool is that? That's what's really cool about that canteen in particular. So next, I'll go to the tarp. Now, here we go again. So I'm lost. It's raining. It's cold. I'm like, I'm going to freeze out in these woods. This has happened. There's places in Australia it's actually happened where people have lost their aliveness. I'm trying to be careful with algorithms, but lost their aliveness. They've been unalive because they've gotten lost in cold places. And you won't last long when it's really cold, especially if you haven't got some hearty food or something. So this shelter, really cool. There's so many ways you can go about this. It's like a tarp. Maybe, and I've wanted to do this for a while, to be honest. Maybe one day I'll do like a video where I build a little shelter and stuff. A good survival shelter is not too complicated. Is something close to your body, so your body heat can really keep you warm. This really combines with this, believe it or not. So this saw, so you're always trying to conserve energy too. So we're just showing you the tarp, explain what that's for. Yep, bit of armpit there. So this here, you know, let's say you're cutting little trees around like this to erect a shelter. This is going to be beautiful. Just watch your hand. You do not want to hurt your hand with that out in the bush with no one. I've actually done that with one of these saws. Very slight little cut, but what happens is, I need to tell you guys this because this has happened to me. So you'll be out there, you're panicking. Maybe you're not panicking, but you're like, it's getting dark, it's going to be cold, I need to make a shelter. Because, you know, that could be the case, you know, in these scenarios. And you put your hand here on a you know, fresh limb, and you're like, I'm going to cut this, and it jumps up, because that's what can happen. That's what happened to me. And you slice yourself with that. That is a nasty, 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 nasty thing to do to yourself. Next thing you know, you know. So be careful. Have your hand. Always don't forget safety, especially in bad scenarios. That's when it usually happens. So that's what the saw's for. Wood, cutting wood. This saw's not really made for dry wood. You can cut dry wood with it, but it's more for shelters to get your, you know, your sticks and stuff. But it's not a must, but it's handy. Also, you know, let's just say you wouldn't want to slap someone that's holding that, if you get my drift. So yeah, there's that element to it as well. Keep that in mind. My two fire making methods. It's not the only fire making methods. There's also bow drills and all that, which I want to get into more. I've done a little bit of it, not enough to really say I know what I'm doing, but that would be good to explore. Bic lighter, it's full of gas, it's not that old. Really good way. I need to get a fire going, boom, lighter. Oh, that fails, whatever happens to that, you lost that. Flint and steel, get some dry kindling and all that. It's again, it's all stuff you want to practice with, guys, because Even that, I'm telling you, for an amateur, it's not that easy to get a fire going with that. I'm not saying it's impossible or something. It's a lot easier than, I believe, with a bow drill and all that, and getting that done from scratch. But so you got two methods there for fire right there. And I said there's more methods again. Knife, sharp knife, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Anything from using a little knife like that to make yourself a bow, warding off a predator, preparing a fish or something to eat. Absolutely. You know, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. It's a universal tool. Yeah, so, and that's sharp. Now you're into sharpening. Why haven't you got sharpening stones and stuff in there? That's stuff you can usually get to some degree in the wild when you finally need it. I prefer the tools just be sharp, and I don't want to be carrying around sharpening stones and stuff, even though I probably could carry something small, but it's like, at what point do you go, yeah, that's just, yeah, anyway. Compass, for example, if you're like me and you don't understand all these fancy things, you could at least just go, okay, you know, I know that it's still finding its direction, I think. So I know north. Sorry, it's still moving. No, it works all right. Don't laugh at me. So I know north's that way and south's that way. And so, you know, for example, at least with this, with my lack of knowledge with it, and you could always learn that skill, I go, okay, I'm just going to keep heading north. Does that make sense? So you're not going around circles and wasting energy when you're lost, or if you get lost. Compass. Yep. So this polyester wax cord, why do I have that? It's fairly light. I can do so much with this string. It's really strong for its size. I can put that together and use it as a bowstring. I could make a fishing spear to wrap around, and that's plenty there, and it's very strong for its size. So that's what that's good for. Or do a repair on something, etc., etc. Now, the reason for the whistle. Again, it's light, it's easy. One thing that has happened, and I've had experience, not with me, but oh no, with me too, but one of the things that happens often when people are lost, and this is very common. I wonder if I could yell out here. Hopefully no one will hear me. But you'll be yelling, help! Help! What happens? You lose your voice. And eventually you can't even call for help. With a whistle like this, you can be like Rose on that pontoon with plenty of room, floating in the Atlantic Ocean, freezing, and not Leonardo DiCaprio, the Jack's in the water, he's freezing, and she's like, come back, come back. And you just imagine me being Rose, didn't you, with my beard, and I'll pull that off, wouldn't I? But yeah, so like I said, this is really loud, and the energy and not losing your voice, such an important survival tool, a good whistle. That's why you'll find them in the life rafts and stuff. So yeah, again, it's louder than you can scream. Definitely is louder. I felt my ears ringing. They're still ringing. You know what I mean? So you can make a bit of a song and dance about it. Oh man, I hope that's not as loud in your ears. That's why the whistle's there. Pretty cool, eh? I'll be honest, for how much this weighs, I don't really think you need a knife and fork, but it could be handy in a scenario. For example, and again, this is a scenario I've kind of been in anyway. Say I'm lost and there's like a bit of water and then there's oysters. And I'm like, oh, oysters. And, you know, I'm using the spoon as a tool. I don't know. Shouldn't really be there. But now, I don't think that kit's really complete. I've got like a green wool blend survival blanket, and it's green, that I want to add to that I have somewhere. Anyway, and I want to put that as part of the kit, because keeping warm with that, and that's also the color of it. It's quite camo, so maybe sometimes when you're lost, oh, I forgot something. The sling could be worn off predators, possibly hunting, but I'm not very proficient in it, but it could be quite handy in the right scenario. Maybe get good at it, Borry. Or if you want to have a sling in your setup, maybe get good at using a sling. Because I'm telling you, if you get efficient using a sling, that is a powerful, powerful tool. And hopefully one day I'll put some more training into it and work into it. I'm better than my mates that I show, but not enough to really hunt. I'm not very accurate. But certain animals, they'll sit in groups, and you get a shot. Like you get a shot into them with a massive boulder, like it takes, and you got yourself food. Like it could be ducks, whatever, you know, if it means survival. So sling's quite good. Yeah, so I want to get this blanket on there. I've already made up a strap for it. I want to strap it on. Again, it's not a must. I've still got the shelter. It's like, you could always go further, but it's like, if the bag's too heavy, am I going to be grabbing it when I just walk off from the van for a bit? I might not, and I might forget because it's heavy and bulky. So there's that element. So again, there's all these other things that could be in there, but it's like, this is just a basic grab it, just in case I'll get lost, just in case something happens. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that makes sense. It's a bit of a just grab and go bug out bag. Another thing I probably want to, just thinking about it in my head, I wouldn't mind putting some sort of dry food in there. Yeah, like one of the best for energy is honey-coated peanuts, or your honey-coated cashews. You've got the sugary energy of the honey coated in them, and they're kind of light, and they give you a lot of sustenance for what they are. So you might have a bag of, say, cashews or nuts in that bag, especially the honey-coated ones. And that way you got a little bit of food in your belly, a bit of energy, it will make you go a lot further than you would without food. So there, you got a little bit of water, ways to purify water. You got ways for shelter, warmth, fire, signaling. And you all got it in one little bag. Something bad happens. Hopefully it never happens, but you got that security. And like I said in another video, there was that movie I watched that was based off a true story. Couple, tourists in Australia. They leave the car. Before they know it, they don't know where the car is. They're lost. The guy ends up being unalived. Really sad. But multiple mistakes were made that, you know, yeah, absolutely could have been avoided. Absolutely. Some things you can't avoid in life, you know, but there's things you absolutely can avoid, and one of them, one of the most basics, and I know I hark on about it, is you always making sure you got water. My van's always got a fair bit of water, a fair good amount. I've got a massive jug there for water. I've got bottles of water. I've got a fair bit of water on me now, you know, on my persons. When people say on my persons, I find that very weird. I imagine a mini me of them. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and like I said, incorporate your survival as a hobby, a part of your life, you know. And like I said, say you're a mum with a busy job, and every now and then you go camping, and you could test some of this stuff, and you might watch this video and you go, I'm going to get a little bag of a few of those things in there, because I found, you know, I've been in scenarios where I've been a bit lost and stuff and in the woods, and I think that's a really good habit. That's what I'm talking about. Not to be scared, but be prepared. Don't be scared, be prepared. Yeah, boy. Thanks, guys. Big Borry out. Stay tuned.